Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. We live in a world that is just completely obsessed with acquiring dominance, right? Climbing ladders, securing status, the whole shebang. But today, we're looking at a deeply philosophical artifact that challenges absolutely all of that. It's actually just 2 sentences long, but man, it forces us to confront some really uncomfortable truths about human ambition and authority. So let's just dive right in.
What is the ultimate reality of power? Seriously, ask yourself that right now. Because when we think of power, we usually picture, brute strength, enduring legacies, massive empires, unshakable foundations. We instantly associate it with permanence. But I want to invite you to just pause those usual assumptions for a second. We're going to reconsider what it truly means to hold authority, looking through the lens of a text that strips away literally every single one of those comforting illusions.
The only reality of the power is that one day you are going to lose it. Only guarantee of having power, control, and authority is the one day for sure you are going to lose them all. Let's just let that sit for a second. It is absolute. It is totally uncompromising. Over the next few minutes, we are going to meticulously dissect exactly how this text constructs its argument.
Section 1. The Evanescence of Power. The author didn't just casually choose this title, by the way. It is the absolute master key to understanding this whole philosophy. Evanescence is the quality of being fleeting or vanishing quickly. And notice what that implies. The text doesn't call it the destruction or the transfer of power. Evanescence implies something vaporous. Think of like morning mist or your smartphone battery on a freezing cold day. Power isn't some solid brick you can just lock away in a vault. It's a mist, and it is guaranteed to dissipate.
Section 2. The Illusion of Permanence.
See, we are culturally and honestly biologically conditioned to crave stability. Our expectation is that power is an enduring, permanent, completely secure state of being. We build these massive stone monuments and establish long-lasting dynasties precisely because we operate under this illusion. Our human ego just desperately wants to believe that we can hold on to the steering wheel forever. But the reality, as dictated by the text's very first axiom, violently collides with that. Reality says power is inherently temporary. It's fleeting, and it is absolutely guaranteed to be lost.
Section 3. The Only Reality.
The author writes, the only reality is that one day you are going to lose it. Now, in philosophy, words matter deeply. The author doesn't say losing power is a possible outcome or the most likely reality. Nope. By framing loss as the only reality, it leaves absolutely zero room for exceptions. What the text is doing here is stripping away all those other things we associate with power. The wealth, the influence, the legacy. Because no matter who you are or how secure your title seems to be, the ultimate inescapable truth of your power, its single defining characteristic, is its own expiration date.
Section 4. The Ultimate Guarantee.
Building on that first axiom, the second sentence actually expands the scope. We're no longer just talking about the word power in some vague sense. The author specifically bundles 3 interconnected facets of dominance: power, control, and authority. Now, why list all 3? Well, think about it. Power is the raw capacity to act. Control is the operational mechanism. Authority is the recognized right to rule. By grouping these together, the text ensures that every single avenue of your influence, whether that's physical force, systemic manipulation, or social recognition, is entirely subject to the exact same fleeting fate.
And what exactly is the fate of those pillars? One day, for sure, you were going to lose them all. Let's just look at the intense repetition here. First, we had the only reality, and now we get for sure. This is a massive doubling down. It builds incredible dramatic tension around the paradox of possession. You spend your whole life trying to gather power, control, and authority, right? And the only cosmic guarantee you get in return is that you will lose them all. Not some of them, all of them. It is a total, complete erasure of the dominance you worked so hard to build.
Section 5. The Paradox of Control. This brings us to an overarching, really inherent irony. The architecture of control looks something like this. On day 1, you gain power, and you think, okay, this is the beginning of the story. Then, by year X, you're holding authority. You think this is the stable, permanent middle where you can finally rest. But the text argues that both of those states are just temporary variables. The only true, guaranteed constant on this entire timeline is that final node. One day, losing it all. The endpoint actually validates the existence of the power in the first place. The paradox is that the harder you grasp at authority, the more you are simply fulfilling the prerequisite for losing it.
So, what do we do with this profoundly humbling reality? If the only guarantee of having control is losing it, how does this change the way you wield authority today? If you know, based on the inescapable logic of our source text, that the sand is actively slipping through your fingers right now, do you squeeze tighter in a panic? Or do you handle it with a little more grace, humility, and purpose? Take this reflection with you today. Think about these philosophical truths the next time you find yourself fighting for control. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to unpack the world around us.